Guys, this is Palm with Pro Box Respect TKO. I'm at the Peacocks gym with a true gentleman of the sport and a boxing legend for me, Jimmy Tibbs. Jimmy, how are you, mate? You right?
Lovely, very well, thank you.
It's a bit of a cold morning.
Very sharp, very sharp.
But thanks for the cup of tea. Appreciate it. Jimmy, as I said, you're very well known in the world of boxing. I want to just start off with yourself and your background. How old were you when you got into boxing yourself, Jimmy?
I started boxing when I was about 10, 11 years of age. When I was 10, I boxed in Canning Town at the Canning Town Town Hall, they called it. And I boxed someone there, a local fella. It was just a schoolboy bout, and I won. And then after that I joined West End Boys Boxing Club when I was about 11.
Excellent.
And I had a very good junior career.
Yeah. And you went on to have around, is it about 20 professional fights?
I had 20 professional fights,
Yep.
won 17, drew 1 and lost 2.
And obviously very good record. I know you mentioned, just talking off camera, and there's a small message before we forget. I know there's kids probably watching this and who, some don't have the facilities to get into boxing and some are also on the streets. Is there a small message that you can send them, Jimmy, about anybody who's in trouble and want to get into boxing? Because it definitely is a way out for most boxers, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I'd like to say this. Years ago when I was a young boxer, pro fighter, I had a good career in front of me, good people looking after me, and I got in trouble with the law. My own fault, blame myself. But what I'd advise young people today, because it's rough out there today, more rough than when I was younger,
Yeah.
is to seek advice, get somewhere where you can train. Everyone's not going to be champions, but in boxing, you get to know people, you get to meet people, and you never know what it's going to lead to.
Yeah, you can go places.
Try and stay out of trouble, and you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But as for prison, when I got in trouble, I finished up getting 10 years, the worst days of my life. I advise you not to go that way.
Brilliant, Jimmy. Thanks for that. Appreciate that
That's
message.
all right, yeah.
Jimmy, so once you finished with your fighting career, you got into training. How did you get into training?
Well, I had a scrapyard in Canning Town. It was a big business, and the Greater London Council decided that they want to put a road through the yard.
Yeah.
So they had to pay us compensation to move out. And we went all through the details with the lawyers and accountants and that, and I finished up coming out, and I was looking round to get into another business. So I decided to go up the Royal Oak just for a visit. That's where I used to train, where Terry Lawless used to train these fighters. I used to train there in the Royal Oak, and I still kept in touch with Terry, so I went up there, just had a look round. Then I went up there again, had a look round, and then one day Terry said to me, "Jim, I'm going to America for a couple of weeks. Do you think you could help Frank out and look after the fighters while I'm away?"
Yeah.
That was in 1981, and I ain't been outside the gym since.
Wow. Terry, from 1981 and even in recent times, somebody that I enjoy watching, Billy Joe Saunders, who recently described you as the best trainer for him. How do you feel about that? And who are some of the other fighters that you've enjoyed training as well as Billy Joe?
Well, Billy Joe, I always said, if he lives it, he'll make it. He'll go all the way. He's gone all the way. He's WBO champion, but he could beat most middleweights.
Yeah.
Even now he's got himself together. I fancy him against Golovkin. He'd be too smart.
100%.
I've always said this. I said this a long while ago. Everyone thought I was crazy, but I know if he lives the life in which he's doing now, and he's looking good luck to him.
Yeah.
Charlie Magri, Chris Pyatt, Nigel Benn, Barry McGuigan. Just a few names of champions. Great fighters, and they listen to you. And this is the thing about training. When you talk to a boxer and you give them a bit of advice to do this, do that, them fighters know if it's right or wrong. Don't worry about that, they know.
Yeah.
And I've been gifted, thank the Lord for that, I've been gifted with training ability. That's something that I never knew I had until I come out of the yard and went up to see went to see the boys in the Open. Terry Lawless made that approach to me. And it went on from there. I'm not saying I know it all, I don't know it all. I'm still learning now, still look at other trainers and think, I'll have a go at that. And it's been a great game to me. I don't train professional fighters now, but I'm still involved in the game. I do cuts like for Barry McGuigan.
Yeah.
David A, I work with. my son Mark. So you know, I'm pretty busy now. So and I enjoy it.
Yeah, and you was in the corner for the George Groves fight,
Yeah.
or for George Groves
Yeah.
against Chris Eubank. I mean, I want to say, obviously, what an event the Sauerlands put on. You know,
that was great.
The World Boxing Super Series as well. What's it like to be part of something like that, mate? It's a huge fight. I mean, obviously, you've done many before.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
What was it like to be part of that last weekend?
It still makes my hair stand on end. It was marvellous. It was marvellous. I can't explain. It's just something you've got to be in it to realise what it does for you.
Yeah.
And it's look, it was marvellous. You know, I boxed on big shows. Most of my fights were at the Albert Hall, Wembley. I was even boxed on the alley when he come over to the alley bill when he come over to fight Cooper.
Oh wow, yeah.
And that I got a buzz out of that. There was 54,000 people there, but that show they put on there the other night, that was something else.
Just something else.
Yeah.
That lighting and everything, the
Yeah,
amount
the
of
lighting,
money.
yeah, I've never
It's
seen
amazing,
that
isn't it? It's like a nightclub.
Yeah.
Jimmy, so you know it's different for us guys. So you know whether we're ringside or watching it on Sky Sports or something. What's it when you was in the corner? And obviously George was tremendous. You know, hats off him for that display. But I was also always the thinking that he was going to pull off that performance anyway. But what was Shane and yourself saying to George in the corner, mate?
Well, this is how it goes while I work with Shane. Shane's the trainer. So when I got down there with Barry, me, Barry and Shane always sit down and say, this time it happened to be George. Now, how are we going to work this? This is how I think it should work. Long jab, right hand. Long jab, keep him in long till they use that right hand and maybe the left hook.
Yeah.
And we're all singing off the same hymn sheet. So that's all he had to do. And Shane done most of the talking because he's the trainer.
Definitely.
And I just followed along with Shane.
It was a textbook performance from
Yeah,
George,
it
wasn't
was
it?
absolutely marvellous.
And talk about long jabs. He definitely has a long jab,
Long
doesn't
jab,
he?
yeah, long. Keep him long. Keep him long. That's all I was saying. Keep him long.
Do you know what's happening with his shoulder injury?
No, I don't at the moment. No, all I know that he was having more X-rays. That was the beginning of the week, so he must know something by now. But I don't know nothing.
Yeah, I mean, going back to our TKO days when I was training there in the white collar stuff, and I used to see you and Billy doing it. And you're absolutely right. You know, even before the fight with David Lemieux and the one potentially this year with Golovkin, I've always said it. You know, Billy Joe is probably so skillful, so skillful.
See, if you got sorry,
no, that's right.
If you've got skill and you can hold a shot,
yeah,
which Billy Joe can. I mean, everyone can't hold a shot. If you get called, no, everyone goes over. But if you've got skill, he can punch, Joe, but he's not what you call a concussive puncher.
That's right.
He's got the skill.
Yeah.
In and out box anyone.
Yeah, and with speed, and he proved that when you guys won the WBO middleweight title over in Ireland. Was it Ireland or Manchester?
It was Manchester.
It was Manchester against Andy Lee because you know he showed with that quickness and skill.
Yeah, they rolled a right hook in, I think. Then
And he caught Andy Lee.
Yeah.
So you spoke about Golovkin. How would you rate his chances versus? I reckon he could beat him. Against Canelo as well.
Yeah, well, I think at the moment, and no disrespect to Golovkin because he's been a great fighter. He still is a great fighter.
He is,
but at the moment, I think he's might be a little bit weather worn.
Yep.
And that's time they make that fight. If it comes off, that's going to be another year.
Yes.
And you know, what I mean, more wear and tear.
Yeah.
For Golovkin, and I think the people who's looking after him, like Frank Warren, I think they're guiding him in the right way.
Yeah.
For the right time.
Yeah.
That's what I think will happen.
Yeah, because I think Billy's still 28, 29, and
he's
I think
28. Yeah, 28,
and Golovkin's going on like nearly 36 now, isn't he? Yeah, something like that. How do you see that fight with Canelo and Golovkin going in 5th of May?
I see Golovkin. Well, I think he'll beat him properly. You know, he beat him properly last time, but
yeah.
It'd be a 50-50 fight, I think. I think Canelo's learned a lot from that fight, as well as Golovkin. But they're both good fighters, you know. They're both good fighters.
Excellent. So for yourself at the moment, as you say, you're retired, but you're still doing the cuts and stuff.
Yeah. I'm still
when's your next time out, Jimmy? What you up to?
Tomorrow.
Are you out tomorrow?
York Hall. Mark's boy, Harvey Horn.
Harvey Horn, yeah, of course.
He's got a 4 to 6 round fight there, and. I'll have my cut gear there. I don't suppose I need it, but we'll see what happens. Well, you never know. I shouldn't talk like that. Be too confident, but I'll be there for him to do the cuts.
Excellent. Yeah. Listen, Jimmy, it's been a privilege. Is there anybody you want to give a shout out? Any thanks? Your old mate Johnny Eames, who I'm going to see straight after.
Johnny Eames is one of the best boxing persons I've ever been involved in. He knows his boxing, and it's great to work with him. Whenever I work with him, we have a great time.
Yeah.
And he's serious about his boxing. He's a good man. Well done, John.
Yeah, both of you, and you know what? Thank you for this time, because 6 years ago when I sort of joined TKO family, it really is a family, isn't it?
Yeah,
and
of course,
everyone sticks together. But wish you all the best, Jimmy. Looking
lovely.
well,
Thank you, sir.
and I'll catch up soon. Take care, buddy.
God bless.
God
Thank you.
bless.